Hello everyone, welcome to ixamBee. I am Prachi Agarwal, the finance faculty at ixamBee. In this video, I am going to discuss the expected pattern of questions for paper 2 for the general stream. Please watch the video till the end so that you understand where you should invest your time for the preparation of phase 1 for SEBI 2022 exam. The exam, as you all must be aware, is on 20th of February 2022, which leaves you with exactly 20 days for your preparation now. The subjects that I'm going to cover, as I said, is only for the general stream, which will include your commerce and accountancy, management, finance, costing, companies act and economics. It will be a 100 marks paper with 50 questions of 2 marks each, which you have to do in 40 minutes. So time is not a problem here. It is about being able to covering the syllabus and being able to attempt the maximum questions out of these 50 questions. So this is the detailed syllabus given for paper 2 for general stream. This is common for both phase 1 and phase 2. So it is essential that you understand these topics well, because this will help you in your phase 2 also. Right? So this syllabus was introduced by SEBI for the first time in 2020. Before this, SEBI had a separate and a different kind of a syllabus. So since 2020, this is the syllabus that SEBI has been following, and this is the second time they are using the same syllabus in the exam pattern. Right? So when they had introduced this, the distribution of questions last time in phase 1 related to these topics was very unsystematic and very absurd and difficult to comprehend. There were very few questions from companies acts and costing and management, while the exam was very heavy on the finance and the financial awareness aspect per se. However, in phase 2, the distribution of questions across the syllabus and the subjects given was much more streamlined, with almost equal weightage coming from all of the subjects. Now this same syllabus has then, after SEBI in 2020, has been followed by 2 more regulators. One, the NPS Grade B, where they included the exact same syllabus of SEBI, plus they added the pension sector because NPS is in the pension sector. So they had the same pattern, commerce and accountancy, management, finance, costing, and the pension sector, as I said, was added. Here also 50 questions of 2 marks each were asked. If we look at the distribution of questions that came in NPS Grade B, this was applicable for only phase 2. Here, the pattern of questions was very well distributed, with economics and pension sector having a little less weightage as compared to the other topics. Again, after NPS, even PFRDA this year in 2020-21, when they came out with vacancies, they have followed the exact same pattern. Both ways, exam in phase 1 plus phase 2. In paper phase 1, the exact same pattern. So I have just shown the snapshot of the exam pattern for phase 1. You can, if you want to verify, you can see the entire notification that it was exactly same as SEBI, with the only difference of pension sector being included in PFRDA exam also, for obvious reasons that PFRDA is the regulator for the pension sector. So if I look at the distribution of questions that came in PFRDA from these topics, it was very aligned, very well covered from all the subjects that they had mentioned, both in phase 1 and in phase 2. Right? So here is a summary of how many questions have come from each of these topics in the exams which have had the same kind of syllabus. Right? So based on this, you can see that there is a good kind of weightage being given to the finance sector, almost consistent kind of weightage for the Companies Act, while economics has had varying distribution in different exams. Management is also more or less similar, and accounts and commerce is also in a range of 6 to 8 questions. So finance continues to have a good weightage. Economics varies from exam to exam, and companies act is another which has had a similar kind of weightage across these exams. If I talk about numericals, the numericals have been in the range of 8 to 9 questions, and if you will see, in one phase numericals are higher as compared to the other. So in SEBI, the numericals were more found in phase 2, while in PFRDA the numericals were more found in phase 1 rather than in phase 2. So in one of the phases they are asking numericals, but not majorly all the time in the same proportion. So this is a small analysis that is being done based on the type of questions have been asked. Now further analysis I have done based on the topics. These were the subjects, the number of questions that have come, but more important is to understand the topics that have been repeated and have been coming on a recurring basis. So if I talk about accounts, of course there are different questions. There are certain questions, unrelated topics, which have been coming in all the 3 exams in different phases. However, the some recurring topics in some form or the other that have come again and again in accounts consist of balance sheet items. Questions like which of the following is a current liability, or which of the following will be a current investment. So understanding the items that are mentioned, and there is the schedule 3 of Companies Act, which also gives the presentation, right? So understanding that presentation of the balance sheet of the financial statements is important. Then certain basic accounting terms or rules, like what is prudence principle or conservatism, right? Or what is the matching concept, or what are the 3 golden rules of accounting. So simple questions related to these have also come in different exams. Cash flow statement is another, from the conceptual point, an important topic that has been asked in 2 of the exams out of these 3. And in the accounting standards, the focus has been on the accounting standards and not really on the end accounting standards. And the recurring topics are mostly depreciation, inventory, and revenue recognition. Some questions have also been asked from PPE, plant and fixed assets related, plant, property and equipment related, or forex, but they have not been recurring. So as I said, this does not mean there are no questions from other topics. The other topics have also been there, but these are the common topics that have been seen across these exams. And similarly for numericals, ratios have been very common. Share transaction related, 1 or 2 exam had a question on rights issue related. There was one related to buyback. So sometimes it was this, sometimes it was some, and once it was related to forfeiture. So some share transaction related one numerical. However, this was not always true, but there have been in 2 exams. Then accounting standard related, either inventory, revenue recognition, or even depreciation, calculation of depreciation on straight line method or written down value method has been asked. So this is the topics that you should focus on more. In the Companies Act, if I talk about, auditor related, prospectus related, and dividend related, the chapters related to these 3 aspects have been asked again and again in PFRDA also, and in SEBI exam also, and in NPS also. So this is the recurring topics, right? And there have been sections, so numericals are not there in Companies Act, but here what I mentioned is section related questions, like they're directly asking what is given under this section, or so and so topic has been covered under which section. So those type of questions on a recurring basis have been at least 2 or 3 common, right? PFRDA phase 1, almost all questions were section related. However, in phase 2, not all questions, only 1 or 2 questions were section related. All the others were related to the rules and guidelines and timelines given in the Companies Act. right? So if I talk about the recurring aspect, I'm repeating again, 2 or 3 questions related to the sections directly may also be common to ask. Moving on to the finance topic, here mostly the questions focus on financial awareness. So whatever has been happening, especially in the last 2 months, that in the financial world, which will include your banking, which will include your financial markets, all of this will be important. And then there have been commonly asked questions like who regulates so and so entity, or who regulates so and so product. So those kind of, you should be very clear about who is regulating what in our country. Then good understanding of financial instruments. What is share? How is it different from debenture? How is it different from derivatives? How is it different from, say, gold bonds? Right? So good understanding, or what is money market instruments or capital market instruments. So certain basic conceptual questions related to financial instruments. And one topic which has come is basic tax related questions, right? This is not really in the syllabus. However, in SEBI also and in PFRDA also, they have ended up asking some question. Like in one they had asked about GST. In one in PFRDA they asked about a TDS section, TDS related section number, right? Once they had asked about ITR form, right? So mostly uh, tax related, but these tax are more from the individual basis is what I understand, that they have mostly been asking that as an individual, because individuals are paying tax. So what kind of uh, uh, income tax or TDS or even GST as individuals, if you have a business registered under GST, or as a professional if you have it under GST, what kind of rules are applicable. So those type of questions have been asked, although this is not in syllabus, but it still has been a recurring aspect. Here numericals have not really been asked. If I move on to economics, the economics has not been very difficult, although there is microeconomics topics being given. Most questions which have been recurring have been based on the law of demand, the simple law of demand, that there's an inverse relation between the demand, quantity demanded, and the price. That has been asked in different forms. Then fiscal policy related, either related to certain definitions like fiscal deficit, or certain items related to FRBM. These have been asked. So fiscal policy per se has been a recurring topic. And then is money, either in the form of money supply related economic concepts, or monetary aggregates, or some monetary rule given by RBI. Money related aspects have been asked. Here the questions have been very direct, simple, and conceptual in nature. No numericals covered in economics per se. In management, good weightage of questions are coming, and these questions are mostly about your thinking, right? So they are related to functions of management and roles of a manager. Even leadership styles and motivation theories have been asked, which are less talked about. So the more famous theories and leadership styles that we are talking about, those have been asked less. However, some less known theories have been asked in terms of not complete details, only the definition and who gave them, or what is this theory known as. So simple one-liner type of understanding, not really the entire theories. And also communication has been, especially communication flow and communication networks related questions have been another recurring topic. The last topic, costing. Here the types of questions have revolved around basic costing terms and definitions. These definitions could be as simple as definitions of costing itself, or a cost sheet, or cost unit, or management accounting, cost accounting, job costing, or contract costing. So all the terms that you can see in the syllabus, related to those definitions have been asked. Apart from that, the another important topic has been marginal costing, right? Marginal costing, understanding of the fixed and variable cost concepts, break even, PV ratio, contribution concept, profit concept, in terms of costing. These type of topics have been recurring from a conceptual point of view. From lean systems, mostly Kaizen and just in time has been asked. They have not really delved into the other topics mentioned in lean systems. So at least from a recurring point of view, the more known lean systems have been talked about. If from the numericals aspect, yes, there have been numericals in costing, mostly related to break even, PV ratio, variances, and here only total and fixed and variable cost concept basically will be utilized here also. So you should have a good understanding of these aspects for solving the numerical also. So based on all this, now I have prepared an expected question pattern. What type of questions are likely to be asked? Topics, not exact questions. I am not making an exact question paper here, although we do have mock tests which are available on website. You can visit ixamBee.com, and there you can go under the free mock test section, and you will find, when you select SEBI, you will find for SEBI free mock tests also, which we have built on the basis of our analysis and the type of questions that can be expected. So if you want, you can go and visit this and attempt questions at these. However, based on what type of topics and type of questions that can come, I have made a small snapshot here. Please, before I proceed, a simple disclaimer. This is solely based on my own analysis and prediction. This has nothing to do with any kind of inputs or information I may have got from any other sources. This is only and only based on my analysis, which I have done, which I have already discussed it with you in detail here. So here is my model expected paper. There's likely to be 8 questions from the account segment, 8 questions from management, 10 questions from finance, 8 questions from costing, 9 questions from Companies Act, and around 6 to 7 questions from economics. The topics that are likely to be covered in these are the accounting principles, accounting standard related to inventory, PPE, and rights and buyback related questions, and then financial statements, especially the preparation of financial statement related questions. In management, roles and functions, some leadership styles, communication types, and HRD biases. There are certain biases that are used in HRD. Those I think are also important to know. In finance, mostly your financial awareness will continue to focus, and here the economic survey, which is going to be released today, and the budget, which is going to be released tomorrow, we have to also take clues. So we will be discussing these important documents also, and any clues we can pick from there later as these are released. But we have to definitely pick up clues from what is being said and talked about and highlighted by the government for both the finance and for the economics topics. For costing, marginal costing and key definitions related questions. In Companies Act, prospectus and allotment chapter will be important, dividend chapter, and rules and penalties and guidelines and timelines related to independent directors and auditors. We may take some clues here also if something about tax or amendments to any kind of Companies Act is announced or proposed. In economics, fiscal policy, especially focusing on the budget and the economic survey, we will have to pick up clues from there, and terms, we should be able to understand all terms that are mentioned there. National income and even monetary policy. So in February, even RBI's next monetary policy is due. So that will also be another important document and event to watch for to get understanding of what can be asked here. So this is my analysis based on which my predicted pattern of questions that can be there for SEBI phase 1 general stream. Okay, coming to numericals, I expect around 4 to 5 numericals to come in phase 1, which would mostly be from ratios. There could be one question from also cash flow related and one from break even and marginal costing. So that is what I expect in terms of numericals in phase 1. Again, repeating, this is only based on my analysis and prediction of the papers I have analyzed for SEBI, NPS and PFRDA. Okay, so what should you do for these next 20 days? You have to revise and practice. Revise all your topics from your notes for the next 10 days. If you have still not started, you will have to go in a reverse mode where you practice a lot of questions and learn from the questions. And in these 10 days, knowing the economic survey key points and the budget key points will also be important. Then avoid any unnecessary details and wasting of time in peripheral topics, because if you are covering this and financial awareness, a lot of your aspects will be covered. So do pay attention to financial awareness preparation. Then practice past year question papers also of SEBI and PFRDA both, to understand the type of conceptual questions that are being asked and also to clear those as a practice for yourself. And the next 10 days spend in only practicing and practicing of mock test. So that is how you should approach the next 10 days to get the maximum and the optimal result from those 20 days of time investment that you will do. You can download, if you are looking for past year question papers for SEBI and PFRDA, you will find them on our website under the previous year paper section. If you want to attempt them, they are also available in the form of a test on our website. You can go and attempt it in the form of a test. You can also download the PDF from the description box of this video. Before I end, I would like to tell you about today is the last day for this offer, the Republic Day offer that ixamBee had launched, in which you are getting a flat 41% off. So today is the last day. If you want to avail this benefit, please do. Today is the last day for that. Thank you everybody for watching it. If you've still not subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe the channel. For any other kind of information, you can email us at hello@ixambee.com or call on this number or visit our website for free mock tests, previous year papers or other kind of guidance. Thank you everybody.